Yeah.
I saw Shake Shack wanted to give back $10 million for the small business loan. I mean, for small businesses, the loan they got from the government because the loan people ran out of money.
Yeah, a lot of big companies got. I think Potbelly was one of them.
Ruth's Chris got something crazy.
List.
But that was probably just to serve Joe.
I'm sitting here waiting for Roof Chris to open. They got the nerve to be getting money.
They got $20 million.
Oh, come on. Give me my fucking ribeye.
I just want some broccoli.
Yo, I wanted to ask y'all, where's the first place y'all going when we're allowed to go somewhere?
I'm going to be too nervous.
I'm going to Roof Chris.
Not nervous for health. Like, I'll just be too nervous to make the wrong decision.
I can't wait.
I'm going to one of my dive bars.
I can't wait
to eat.
I can't wait to get jiggy in Roof Chris. Like, I'm getting dressed up to go sit at the bar.
Yeah.
Maybe Ocean Prime.
I don't even know what that is.
Y'all got money. You know what Ocean Prime is.
I don't. What's Ocean Prime?
Yes, you do know what Ocean Prime is.
I think I've been there with you.
Ocean Prime? Where's that?
It's the seafood version of Prime.
Yeah.
Oh, on the block behind. Yeah, this nigga Maul is fucking.
It's money, bro. I was thinking like, maybe I'll go to my local Spanish spot and finally sit down and eat.
Yo, Maul, you be trying to get pussy even when you're not trying to get pussy. I'm
What
on
you talking about?
I think I'm going to go to Ocean Prime, man.
Nah, I don't eat
Anybody
seafood,
want
so-
to accompany me?
No, he's waiting for that Ocean Prime eye emoji DM.
Yeah, Maul told the girls to start using words like accompany.
Nah, Ocean Prime, it's one right downtown.
What does that mean?
Y'all never
That
been?
means nothing.
so it's right downtown.
Yeah, y'all never been?
No.
I've been.
I didn't know there was one downtown, honestly.
Yeah, 52nd.
All right, come on, Maul. We got to get into this Jordan doc that you've been talking about for weeks.
The world has been talking about, not just me.
Can I start with the shit came on and I said the same shit I've been saying forever. This nigga's a dick.
But why do you say that though? Like, what did you see that made
First
him,
two
made you feel he was
episodes,
a dick?
he wasn't crazy in the first two. I
That's
think
why
we're
Joe
about to see
Joe
some
just
shit.
be talking. Mike didn't do anything that was crazy. What makes him a dick? What did he do?
Fam,
In the first two?
Asshole.
What did he do in the first two?
Explain.
Explain what? Everybody hated him.
In the first two episodes?
Yeah, in the first two episodes. I mean,
hated
then he
him?
was nice, so I mean, kind of had to rock with it.
Nobody
Larry
in that
Bird called him
documentary
God.
makes you feel like they hate Michael Jordan. Not one person in that documentary makes you feel like that.
Okay, well maybe I was reading between the lines, but when I heard his teammates talking about his style of leadership and how they felt isolated and felt like they couldn't really say anything to him, it made me say, "Oh, this nigga's a dick."
No,
It didn't make you
that's
say
not
that.
What that says. No, that's
competitive.
not what it says. I mean, you gotta. Mike explained it, and even even Bill Winnington said it. Like when he was yelling at them, he was like, "Yo, if you couldn't take it, he didn't care. Get out." But Mike even followed that with, if you can't take that, if you can't give your opponent any confidence. So if you're not willing to go out here and just be like evil and just to not as a person but as a competitor, this is all just competitive shit. It's not like he's away from the court like, fuck y'all. Like, no, it's while we're here in this gym practicing, go hard. While we're on the court, go hard. And I don't see what's wrong with that. But that's the problem with today's era. Like, everybody want to be buddy and play with each other and play on the same team and let's take vacations together and let's do this, let's do that. Like, Mike wasn't with that.
I don't want to focus on how much of an asshole I think Michael Jordan is, because I do believe that nothing y'all can say is going to change my mind. What a great doc.
Quickly,
though.
let me ask you and how you feel that way and about your leadership. If Mike is a dick.
I don't
think Mike is a dick. But if you think Mike is a dick in his leadership and how he handles the people around him, I would just like to know what some self-reflection from you would be.
I don't think that you guys would be that. Parks, you okay? I don't think you guys would be the correct audience to have that conversation with, because I don't think you guys are really aware of my keen leadership abilities.
You're keen. Define keen.
See how he's saying it?
Define keen.
My keen. Once you start putting notes to some shit, it's some bullshit.
I personally think I'm a really good leader. Let me just throw that out there.
No.
I come to y'all.
See, this is the dancing.
Donald
You're
Trump
dancing.
But let me tell the
dancing with
difference
me.
to Maul.
You're dancing.
Hold up. I come to y'all and try to discuss like really important decisions that have to be made. What the fuck out of? Oh, it's cheap. And there's another one. I come to y'all with the really important decisions.
This is insane, by
that
the way.
need to be. What is insane? It's a burger.
You're podcasting.
Well, when you guys start talking about something, I'm going to take a bite to eat.
When we start talking about stuff.
Wait, hey, oh yeah, tomorrow. Got it. He's off today. I forgot. Kareem, thank you, bro.
Don't try to say thank you now that we're questioning your leadership.
I didn't know y'all were questioning my leadership. Look,
No, we're not. You were dancing. I asked you.
I think
I don't
answered.
think-
I think
I don't
my
think-
leadership is great.
I don't think Mike is a dick, but if we're comparing how people deal with the people around them,
I've never punched you in the face. I've never.
He didn't punch anybody.
Yes, he did.
Who he punched?
Steve Kerr.
It was a love tap.
Yeah, Steve be talking crazy.
Yeah.
And that was my point last week to Maul. Yo, if I just get up and punch you in the face, are you going to think I'm competitive? Or
By the way,
I really want to
I
win?
want to make this clear. I'm not comparing you to Michael Jordan. I am just, because I know how your narcissistic brain thinks. I'm just thinking, if you think Mike is a dick, what do you think you are? That's my question that you're dancing about.
Mike ain't a dick, man. People took that whole he punched one of his teammates and
blew it out of proportion.
I don't even know what y'all talking about.
If one of the greatest competitors ever is cursing at their teammates, I'm not gonna say, oh, he's a dickhead. What does that mean? Like
People
that,
get punched in
he's
their face. It
competitive.
happens.
He's competitive. He wants them to win. Like, listen, do y'all want to play hard? Because they were all none. When you look at the rosters Mike had, he didn't have a bunch of superstars with him.
Well,
so he had to pull
I
out the
wouldn't go that
best
far.
in each each play. He had to give them that confidence. Like, you're better than this. You can play. You can compete on a high level. Like, act like it.
Mike's teams were wild.
I thought it was a real good doc. Before we talk about it
first
anymore,
two
I thought it
episodes.
was the first two. I think the
I
next
don't-
8 will be great.
no, I think the next 8 are going to be the ones. I think this was the introduction for the people to know Mike's background. We haven't gotten
Started
to
off with the-
the shits, in my opinion,
We started
do
with
like-
the traveling cocaine circus.
that Mike was
I
It's
didn't
a
saying.
know
hell of a warm up.
I didn't know that.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. How would I have known that?
You know all.
Yeah, that was a known thing.
Come
That
on,
was
son.
out years ago.
They was all doing the booger sugar.
I didn't know that the Bulls team before Mike got there was looked at like the traveling cocaine circus. I never knew that.
Yeah,
think
these
the NBA
two
was.
episodes didn't reveal much to me that I didn't already know. I think as it goes on, I do like where they're going with making sure that Scotty is highlighted through all of this, though. I like that.
I did too.
Because for
That's-
years, for whatever reason, Scottie Pippen never got the respect he deserved and the notoriety that he deserved. So I do like that. That Mike is making sure that Scotty is highlighted in this. I like that a lot.
Is Mike making sure? Is he like a producer on this?
I think anything Mike touches or he's a part of, he would definitely have a lot of control over it.
Okay. That could be dangerous.
Well, when you work your way into the position that Mike has, I mean, that's
Of
just
course.
what comes with it, especially when you're talking about telling my story or my career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you would have to, like, make sure that I am aware of everything that's going out that's being told about my story.
And even if Mike is not a producer on this, he clearly made sure every time he opened his mouth, I'm bigging up Pippen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I like that. I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, Mike was fucked up. Pippen only got this much money." I'm like,
well, that's what I want to talk to y'all about. I think that's
but Pippen, he spoke on that. Pippen said he was like, "Yo, I was in a position where I didn't want to gamble on my career and end up getting hurt and not getting paid. I needed to make sure I could take care of everyone in my corner." Like, even the owner told him, like, "I don't think this is a smart idea for you to lock yourself in for this many years." Like, and even Mike told him that too. So if Scotty wants to go on and sign that contract, that's not on anybody else. Now I get it. Other things came into play during that 7 years, TV deals and stuff like that. But
I want to
again,
know how y'all feel about that decision in particular.
From Scotty's
it's,
back?
it's a tough position because a lot of
Yes.
players.
Because if
A
you
lot of
tell me
players
that
back then-
if you tell me that you understand it, then I'm gonna correlate that to some of your takes as it pertains to artists getting record deals. Because we always talk about that here and we say, why would somebody do that? And we never really focus on some of the reasons why somebody would do that.
No, we've talked about it before, Joe, and I think the Scotty case made it clear. It's all about the position from which you're negotiating from. Like, if you're negotiating from a desperate situation, or you're negotiating from a situation where you don't quite understand the leverage that you have, the worth, the value that you have, and all you know is your family is struggling. You need to pay bills. You need to make sure everybody's okay. I mean, you're going to just jump at a lot of things that you probably shouldn't even budge on because of those things weighing on you. But when you're negotiating from a place of, no, I know what I'm worth, and I know what I bring to this situation, and I know, what my value is. I think sometimes you have to just, again, take the shorter end and say, no, I'm not locking myself in for this many years at this, because I know next year my value is going to be double what it is now.
Yeah,
so why would I lock myself into this?
Because some people are not risk takers, and this is just how I equate the 9-to-5 people or the people that go to work versus the creatives. Like, the quarantine has put everybody into the position of a creator, not knowing where your next dollar is coming from, having to come up with some shit to figure out how we're going to survive, versus the 9-to-5 people who are probably more in line with stability and security. So just to paint this picture for people, Scottie Pippen was injury-ridden. So that's important to know.
This is
that's
before
a big thing, because in
This was
sports,
before that.
in sports you could lose your whole livelihood.
No, he
to
was
an
getting
injury.
his surgery.
No.
He signed this contract before any injuries happened.
No, they said that They said in that doc
He was
that
renegotiating at that time. No?
No, they said that part of the reason he signed that long-term deal was because he was having back and leg, ankle, some type of issues, and he wasn't certain. They said that
In 90, he just came into the league and
Get hurt in
no,
college.
I don't think so. I don't think he
I don't
had
remember
any
so much.
injuries before that. No, I think
I'm
he
not
was
talking
going
about toward
into
the
it.
end where he said, "Fuck y'all, I'm getting my surgery." I'm not talking about that.
But before that, Scottie didn't have any injuries that kept him out of playing.
Maybe not. I'm not saying kept him out of playing, but had some pre-existing injury
But
concerns.
if it's nothing that's going to keep you out of playing, that doesn't affect your contract negotiation.
Yeah, but in sports, you kind of don't know that. So if he had something pre-existing and was scared to go out there and fuck some shit up, I could see how that would add to his decision making.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
again, it's still, you got to know that you're worth more than $3 million a year.
See,
On what?
That's what they were talking about, him waiting to do the surgery into the season rather than in the summer.
No. That was different. That was his foot.
You
That was
confusing
his
it.
foot.
They had won at that point that you talking about.
That's all
Rory.
right. So which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about before he came in.
Okay.
He had some
1990, he had
injuries
his
he
first
was
surgery in
battling in
1990.
college that he might have been worried about.
A herniated disc.
Yeah, that's bad.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, I'm still not. I'm not.
Don't do that,
locking
Maul.
myself
Think about
in
that.
to-
Think about that. Think about that.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't do that. See, and that's and I'm glad we having this
Steph Curry
conversation.
did the
And that's
same
difference.
shit.
That's the difference between Jordan and other players. Like when they was telling him, there's a 10% chance you break your foot again and you never play again. And Mike said, okay, well, there's a 90% chance I won't, so I'm playing. That's the gamble that you have to take, and when you know your ability and you know who you are, like you're not second guessing yourself. And that's the difference between Mike as a competitor versus other players, other athletes. A lot of other athletes would have never went back out there and never said, oh, we're not going to tank this season just to get a lottery pick. Like, I want to go to the playoffs now. Like, right now, I want to be in the playoffs. I want to compete against Larry Bird and these other dudes that are the best players in the league. I want to be on the same stage as them. That's the difference between Jordan and a lot of other athletes. And that's why he's considered the greatest, because of his approach, his mentality, his will. You know what I'm saying? It's not just your abilities as a player. It's a lot of other shit that goes into your greatness as well. A lot of other players would have never got back on that floor in '86. If your doctor says, oh, 10% chance you break it again, you're never going to play again. Players would have sat out. Fuck this season. Get a lottery pick. We come back next year. Cool.
Y'all believe
Mike said, no, fuck that. I want to go to the playoffs now.
Y'all believe Mike heard some commotion coming out of one of the hotel rooms and knocked on the door and went in there, and the whole team was in there with drugs and women, and Mike said, wait a minute, guys. I got a game tomorrow. Got to get out of here. What are you guys doing? That's what you're telling me?
I mean,
of course. He said it
he was
himself.
only 20 at the time. He was young. He was a young kid.
Yeah,
I can see
that would be the time to do it.
I don't know. Hove and Jordan with Maul.
do you
Hove,
mean?
Jordan, and Summer Walker with you?
I'm not saying
That's a wild
Am I
threat.
saying that Jordan never? I think that as a grown man now, he never did coke. No, I'm not saying that.
Did he do
I'm saying
coke
as a
that night?
I don't think he did. I'm just saying I don't think he did.
You know what's funny
No.
too? How you come in, the things you learn. You know our story that we always say when it comes to that flu game, right? Mm-hmm. Don't that sound familiar?
Yeah, but that was how many years later?
I know, but where'd you learn it from? What'd you do that night? What'd you do the first time? You just walked out? You walked out, but then you
I think the
adapted.
total opposite.
You walked
I think
out,
the
but you
total
adapted
opposite.
the habits to pass on while you were in the finals? That's what you're telling me?
The total opposite. I think that it's the total opposite. I think that had he went in that room that night and engaged in those activities, I don't think we ever see the Mike that we saw that early.
I could totally see him being too young and naive, but not long after that getting into the shits.
Yeah, like I said, do I think as a grown man now? Of course,
I think the whole
he's tried
NBA
it.
was with the shits, and he was one of them.
Nah, he was a country boy, man. I don't think he was with that at that age.
Yeah, I feel like I've met that kid before. You know what I'm saying? That comes in and say like, nah, this ain't for me.
Yeah, you
And
from
then-
the
and
country.
then-
You don't know nothing about you're not with any of
Then
that.
next month they're fucking turning the fuck up.
I'll be honest. I'm glad they highlighted just how fast Mike's game improved.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad I got to see that. Is what I'm saying.
Because
Because he wasn't that nice in college.
It wasn't because of course we always bring
No,
up
he was that nice in
Jordan,
college.
LeBron,
He was
and
not that nice in
Kobe.
college.
LeBron and Kobe were like prodigies.
What you mean?
LeBron,
Not
Like how do Joe? You know what bugs me out with you? You will sit there and watch some of the greatest players ever that were playing with him at that moment, and you'll hear their testament, and then you'll be like, "Man, get the fuck out of here." James Worthy sat there, and he was one of the best players in the nation at the time, and he sat there and said, "I was better than him for 2 weeks." And then you sit here and say he wasn't that good in college. What are you talking about?
No. I'm not.
Wasn't he a player of the year?
I don't know.
Sophomore year?
He might have been.
No, I'm only comparing him to what was on display his rookie year that they showed. That wasn't on display his final year of college, even with the game-winning shot. Like, and I'm glad they highlighted it. Like, he was doing
His rookie year?
yeah. That's what they.
What do you know
Yo,
what his numbers was his rookie year?
Yeah, more. I'm only telling you what I thought from watching the documentary. I'm getting this from the documentary. This is not from Joe's brain. Why are you
So you're
yelling
saying,
at me?
okay, so let me understand what you're saying. You're saying that you don't believe it even after watching the doc, or before the doc you didn't know he was that good?
No. What are you talking about? I'm saying
that he just wasn't a child prodigy the way some other athletes that we deem the greatest were. Like LeBron and Kobe were recruited since fucking middle school. Jordan didn't come in as the child prodigy that was
like,
going to change
do you-
the game.
Do you know what Lou Alcindor did in college? I'm just saying
Okay,
that he wasn't.
He wasn't
that
even
in-
Kenny Anderson.
He wasn't that in college.
Out of
And
high
you-
school.
and you
No.
barking on me.
Past that, you said rookie year.
From what they showed me on the doc, his rookie year, by the fourth game, he was going crazy. The ball was in his hand 90% of the time. He was putting up the shots. He was doing mad shit. We didn't see that from him his final year of college. Like, why are you attacking me?
He was consensus first team All American 83-84, which were his sophomore and junior years, I believe.
I see what there's
Yo,
mad,
they-
there's mad
Wait,
bad players are all American.
Yeah, I don't
like
mean that.
I know what Joe is saying.
No, mad players are not all American.
Fan, wait.
I'm saying in the
College
scope
player
in the
of the
scope
year.
of
I
people
don't
that
know
are in the
why.
NBA.
I don't know why we argue about shit that we don't
In the
have to argue
scope
about.
of who's in the NBA, mad of those players were all American.
In this doc,
ACC Rookie of the Year 82. Like,
I don't care. In this doc, they said verbatim, hey, had the Olympics come before the draft, no way Jordan goes number 3 because he had gotten so much better from his last game of college to the Olympic game that everybody would have taken Jordan. That's all I'm speaking to is how fast he improved. I'm not saying he was a bum.
Okay, all right. I misunderstood what you were saying. That's why I was just waiting to hear what you
God,
explain it.
Jesus.
I didn't understand what you were saying at first.
Well, you got to
but I
take your
got it.
cape off.
I got it. No, it's not about a cape. I don't need to have it. That's the thing, Mike. You don't need to have a cape on for Mike.
Well, that's
You
not.
can
Well,
just- you
slow
can just
down,
run
slow
the
down,
tape.
slow
Not
down,
this
because I
era.
was about to ask y'all that too. You're right.
You can just run the tape.
You're right. You don't need a cape. And I'm glad that a lot of the younger kids are getting to see why America is so in love with Michael Jordan and even long after he stopped playing. But I think you kind of need a cape because LeBron's name keep coming up, even though he had zero to do with this doc.
Well,
And
LeBron's
that's when
name
the
is always
Jordan
coming up.
fans want to put their cape on. So speak to that for me, please.
There's no listen when you know and have watched and lived through the Mike era, and you watch and live through the LeBron era. There is no comparison. Like I don't. So like and again, LeBron is a great basketball player. He's a great, but I think LeBron is more than that. He's a great businessman, a great friend, a great father. He's just a great role model.
hip hop
Like,
historian.
yeah, like I love
A&R.
LeBron for a lot of reasons, but Michael Jordan is just a different when you talking about we talking just basketball. We're not talking about nothing else. Michael Jordan is just the difference. Like you hear people, it's gotten to the point now where people even downplay the talent that was in the league in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like they say, oh, Mike wasn't playing against nobody. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He was playing against some of the greatest players to ever play the game. Now, we could talk errors all we want, but if we're going to talk errors, this is the easiest era of basketball ever. This era that today, this is the easiest era of basketball ever.
He was cooking Danny Ainge, right?
He was cooking more than Danny Ainge. You heard what Larry Bird said. It was Larry Bird, Bill Walton,
Magic Johnson,
Kevin McHale. They threw bodies at him. Didn't matter.
I'm talking shit, Mo.
I know you're talking shit, but that's what I'm saying. When it comes to Mike, you don't even have to debate it because it's like, let the tape run. It's going to tell you everything you need to know. Here was a kid, like you said, Joe, he wasn't highly scouted coming out of high school. This is what makes this story even better, is the fact that he worked his way into the position of being the greatest ever. Like, it wasn't just something that he just had. He had to work at it. He had to work at becoming better at basketball. Even in the midst of him playing, even in high school, in college, he had to work better. He wanted to get better. And he ended up becoming the greatest ever. But again, you just have to look at the way the greats talk about him. You understand what I'm saying? Like the way that the greats talk about Mike is like they knew they never had a chance playing against him. Like we didn't even have a chance. I don't see any of these players now in this generation where greats talk about them like that, where the greats in their era talk about them like that. They didn't feel like they had a chance against them. It doesn't happen.
I'm also biased.
It just doesn't.
No,
I've never seen Tim Duncan sit down and talk about.
Right.
No.
I've never seen Tim Duncan sit down and talk about other players of his era. Like,
Are
I knew I
you
couldn't beat
watching
him.
some of the young? Oh, you talking about hearing the greats talk about the greats? I was talking about how NBA players speak about, and that's how the current set of NBA players speak about LeBron. They put him on a pedestal.
Well, they would have to put him on a pedestal because he's a great. And a lot of these dudes, they grow up watching him and they grow up, seeing him. But you also have to look at the greats, meaning the all-time greats, and listen to where they talk. You won't find any all-time great that's going to say LeBron, and I hate doing this because people just, for whatever reason, think I don't like, and I love LeBron, but you're never going to hear none of these all-time greats say LeBron is better than Mike. It's not going to happen. Because even in LeBron's era, you never felt like LeBron was the guy that these players were chasing. You understand what I'm saying? Like, even in this era right now, people are chasing the Warriors.
LeBron beat the greatest team I ever saw.
That's debatable. That's
Lakers
debatable. He
the
also
Celtics.
got swept by this team. He also got swept twice in the finals. Like, these are things that you have to add. Don't just highlight the highs. And that's what I
have to highlight the high. Nobody else ever did it.
Nobody else ever did what?
Came back from a 3-1 deficit in the finals.
Yeah, Mike didn't have to. And that's the part of the argument that people don't understand. Mike didn't have to come back from 3-1.
Because he was playing Detlef Schrempf.
Regardless of who he was playing.
No, don't do
He
that.
was playing-
I'm joking.
he was playing some- he was
Detlef was
playing
nice.
some-
I'm joking. Detlef was
And
nice.
not only that, he beat Hall of Famers every year that he won it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not, we can't just knock, like, people say, oh, Mike didn't he didn't come back from 3-1. He didn't have to. He was never down 3-1. Like, he didn't have to, and that's what makes him great. Is because he didn't have, people were chasing Mike.
I know. I didn't see Mike running around after Steph and Clay and Durant either. Oh, Durant wasn't there.
No, Durant wasn't on that team.
I want to see Mike against that team. Shut up.
Yeah, and again, you could argue errors. We could do that, but I would like to see some of those players play with the physicality in the 90s. I would love to see that. I would love to see that Warriors team try to stand out there and just shoot threes all night in the 90s.
Against the Pistons.
I would love to see it. Just let me see it, Joe, is all I'm
beat
saying.
up.
Like, so that's why I don't even argue the error shit, because like I said, imagine if Michael Jordan had the green light like the players in today's era do.
He did.
He did not have the green light like the
Hell
players in
no.
today's era did. He did not. He did not have the green light to come down as soon as he crossed half, just shoot it. He did not have that.
Okay.
The NBA, the games, the style of play wasn't even like that. So that's what I say. It's different eras we can argue that. LeBron, great player. But when you talk about Mike, other greats talk about, they don't even speak with the same tone. They don't even speak with the certainty that Mike spoke with. Like, Mike knew he was gonna win. You don't hear these players today speak with that type of certainty, like, I know I'm gonna win. You don't hear it. Even when the Warriors won all those games they won, they didn't speak with that certainty. They never spoke with it.
I don't care. You've outpassioned me. I don't care about this.
Bro, it just is what it is, man. And like I said, I was fortunate enough to see Mike and see LeBron. It's just a and I don't even.
You don't care.
There's some other names that you would have to put before LeBron too, but then they're gonna say I'm hating LeBron even more, and I don't hate LeBron. I love LeBron, great player, but there are other players
like Kenny
that
Anderson?
I would probably have to put before LeBron when you talk about being great. That's all I'm saying.
Derek Coleman?
No. We're not doing that.
All right.
We're not doing that.
He was great.
You got to talk about the Timbs. You got to talk about the
I'm all
Kobe's.
gonna name him. I don't give a fuck.
I'm just saying. if we're gonna talk greats, let's talk greats.
I'm not talking greats. All these dudes
Okay.
are great. I can't wait to watch the doc. Actually,
Yeah.
somebody said they just sent the whole doc to me, all 10 parts, to
Yeah,
my
I
email.
just got that as well.
Shout out to him. He's the man. Is it there?
Yeah, well, it's a WeTransfer. I have 3 emails of
I'm
WeTransfers.
transferring that. I'm
Oh, yeah,
transferring.
you send it to me. I don't know who sent that, but send it to me.
Hovain sent that.
I-
He told me shout him out.
Oh, all right. Shout out to Hovain.
Yeah, shout out to Hovain. Yeah, no, definitely.